When you have a program as powerful as OmniFocus, it's just inevitable that you're going to have a ton of people writing about it, showing how they use it, finding integrations for it, and just showing off how their systems work. That's how you got here. It's what I'm doing as well. So I definitely fall into that group. But there's a number of resources out there to help you figure out how your own system should operate. It's not a good idea to just take somebody else's and copy paste it. If you want to, go for it, but you're going to end up tweaking it because everybody's a little bit different. And easily one of the best places to go to get this whole exploration process started is inside OmniFocus. Now, this is a site put on by the Omni Group to collect a lot of articles, collect services, and a ton of information about what all is going on out in the world of OmniFocus. And you can get here just by some of the links that I've got down below this video. You can get there at inside.omnifocus.com. All of the links to all these resources, I'll put them down below, so it's pretty easy for you to get at these. But go out here, take a look. The workflows piece is really interesting. There's a ton of people that write about how they use different aspects of OmniFocus, so it's a pretty great place to go and see what all is going on there. Tools and services, you can see all the different places that OmniFocus integrates. And then collected, this is a newer one that they're starting to keep up to date, and you'll see yours truly here in a couple places. But there are a lot of updates to all of the programs, all the different resources out there about how people are using it and how are they integrating it, and see what these other people are doing. So it's a pretty handy resource to get involved with. The next one that I use quite a bit is also put on by the Omni Group, and it's their forums. I'm out here at least once a day. I don't always participate, but I always check in just to see what's going on. But people who have questions, who have suggestions on how to do things, there's just a lot of information going on, how to help out with Apple scripts. There's a lot going on in the Omni Group forums, so it's a pretty handy place to go, and it's running discourse, which I'm a big fan of. If you get outside of the Omni Group, you get into some good friends of mine. This one's run by Tim Stringer at learnomnifocus.com. And Tim does a great job of putting together webinars, collecting different people, and seeing how they use OmniFocus. So I've done a webinar with Tim, and it's been a great experience just to see what do people do? And it gives you the opportunity to jump in and just have a conversation with the folks that are on the webinar. So it's highly valuable. I've reaped a lot of benefits off of learnomnifocus.com. So big thank you to Tim there. Another good friend of mine is Kurosh Dini. And Kurosh has written a book on OmniFocus, Creating Flow with OmniFocus. I've been through this book, and it's extremely helpful. It's one that I have gotten a lot of good information out of, so it's one that I highly recommend. So if you are interested in a higher level use of OmniFocus and how to create a day's worth of information and how to just create flow within your normal life and work, Kurosh does a great job of explaining that in his book. But something else that Kurosh does, and he updates it, I'm not going to say frequently, but he does update it fairly regularly, is the resources section of this site. And this is where he collects a lot of information about OmniFocus. He has a number of my articles and such out here. He has a lot of the paid stuff that I'm going through currently, but there's also a lot of different posts that he's collected out here. So if you get a chance, go explore some of this, because there's just, you can spend hours out here on this. Some more good friends of mine over at Asian Efficiency, they have the OmniFocus Premium posts. And this is a pretty sweet course that you can go through to show you how to set it up and how to go about using OmniFocus. But it's just another resource that you can get to see how you can go through it and how you can set it up. Again, it's a pretty handy resource. The other thing that they have is a set of resources as well. And this one is collection of the articles that they have and some screencasts that they have on their site. So there's, again, a lot going on there as well. And no collection of OmniFocus resources would be complete without the Mac Sparky Field Guide. So David Sparks has gone in, he recently updated his OmniFocus video field guide, and I highly recommend it. It's a very lengthy and yet very easily digestible field guide that you can go through. So David is one of the inspirations to me to get into screencasting, so thanks to David. And he is easily one of the best people at putting things on a screen and stepping you through it. So David is awesome with his field guides. I can't recommend them highly enough. But there are also a lot of people out there starting to write just blog post articles and things about OmniFocus. It's getting to be quite the group going on now. But one that has been around for quite some time doing it would be Sven Feshner, and he has a lot of articles on his site, Simplicity Bliss, about OmniFocus. I know that he has a number of articles that have been very big in the OmniFocus community for quite some time. So if you get a chance, go take a look at that as well. You can spend a lot of hours going through Sven's website, and this is one that essentially sold me on OmniFocus. Sven is the one that really got me to make that move. I don't think he knows that, but kudos to Sven for introducing me to OmniFocus and giving me the tools to get started in using the program. One of the new up-and-comers that I've seen is Johnny Chatta, who has been writing about OmniFocus. Not a ton, but a little bit here and there. And he has a section on his site about productivity that he has been filling up with OmniFocus articles and how he sets up his workflows and how he sets up the tool for himself. So again, that's a great place to go. And of course, you can check out my site. There is a tag for OmniFocus, which will filter all of the articles on my site specifically to OmniFocus, and you can go check those out as well. So all of these resources, there's a ton of information out here. The OmniFocus community is one that's very inclusive. We like to help each other out quite a bit, and it's one where we tend to build off of each other a lot. I always pick something up from either Sven or Kurosh or David. I pick up stuff from them all the time. But there's a lot of information across all of these resources. And to make it easier on you, just remember, you can go right below this video. There's a bunch of the links to all of this in the specific areas that I've mentioned directly below the video to make it easier for you to get to these resources.